Hi there, welcome to another Spark Disability Resource Hub video. In one of our recent videos, I talked a little bit about finding service providers, and in that video, I mentioned something called the NDIS Provider Finder tool. So what I thought might be a useful thing to do might be just to go through and make a quick little video about how to actually use the Provider Finder tool and where you can find it on the NDIS website. So that's what we're going to do today. This is the NDIS website. As you can see up the top there, ndis.gov.au. Hover your mouse over the For Participants drop-down menu there, highlighted in green. And then we're looking to click on the Working with Providers option. Okay, also highlighted in green there. Once we've clicked on that, it will take us to the Working with Providers page. Now, if we scroll down, there's a few different options here, and I'll talk about some of these other options in future videos, but the one we're looking for today is the Provider Finder tool. If you click on that link, and that brings us to the Provider Finder tool. Now, it begins by listing all the registered providers in Australia, which is more than 27,000, as you can see there. So we need to filter that down a bit. So I'm going to do a quick search. I'm based in Ballarat, so I'm going to put in my postcode, which is 3350, and I'm going to click on Ballarat as the suburb. And that then brings the number of results down, as you can see there, from 27,000 to 370 providers that are registered in and around Ballarat. Now that's still too many to be convenient. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this option on the left here, which then filters the number of providers even further so that they are providers who have an office in Ballarat. And that then brings the number of results down to 45, which is starting to become a bit more manageable. Now, the Provider Finder tool also has a map so that you can actually see where the providers are located. The orange dots are if you've got multiple providers in one spot. And then the purple rings are individual providers, just single providers there. And so if you click on those, it brings up details like their address, their phone number, website, email, that kind of thing. That was a very quick rundown on how to use the NDIS Provider Finder tool via the NDIS website. I'm going to go through it again in a little bit more detail, a little bit more slowly, just to help reinforce what we talked about. So here we go. So the first step is to go to the NDIS website at ndis.gov.au. And what you do then is, if you're using a computer, you hover your mouse over the For Participants drop-down menu on the menu bar there, where the orange arrow is pointing. Okay, that then brings up a menu with a whole lot of different options, but the one that we want is to left click on Working with Providers, again, where the orange arrow is pointing there. And when you click on Working with Providers, that will then take you to the Working with Providers page. Now, if you scroll down, you'll find the Provider Finder tool link. Left click on that link. And we'll come to the Provider Finder tool itself. Now, when you first load up the Provider Finder tool, it has all of the registered providers across Australia included, which comes to more than 27,000 providers. So that is clearly far too many. So we need to filter it down to make it easier to use. The first thing that we can do to narrow that search down is to put in our postcode, so that we are only finding providers that are available in our local area. So for me, I put in the postcode 3350. I click the search button, and that then brings up a list of suburbs that come within that postcode. I choose Ballarat as my local suburb, and that then narrows the number of results down from 27,000 providers down to 370. The second thing we can do to narrow down the number of providers is that we can filter them for particular kinds of services. So to do that, you left click on registration group, and that then gives you a list of different kinds of services that you can click the box to decide to tell the provider finder tool which kind of services you're looking for. Now that will reduce the number of provider search results again, but there is one further way that we can do it as well, and that is to only include providers in our search that actually have a physical office, a place where you can go to meet the provider staff. So to do that, scroll down the search options on the left-hand side of the screen and click on Provider Status. That then gives you a little menu with a couple of options. Left-click on the button at the bottom, and that will then further filter those search results so that you have providers that actually have a physical presence in your local area. Now, doing all of that for the 3350 postcode, I've now come to 14 providers, that's a far more manageable figure. It's a lot more convenient to maybe to contact 5 or 6 of those 14 providers than it is to try to find 5 or 6 providers out of 27,000. So to contact providers from the Provider Finder tool, you can do that directly from the NDIS website. If you're using a computer to access the Provider Finder tool, then you can click on the little purple icons, the purple pictures next to the provider's contact details, and they will let you do certain things. For example, find where the provider's office is in Google Maps, allow you to call the provider directly from your smartphone. You can email the provider, or you can go to the provider's website. You don't have to use a computer, though, to access the Provider Finder tool. You can also use your smartphone. Now, if you choose to do that, rather than tapping on those little purple pictures, the icons, you can tap on the text from the provider's contact details. And again, so if you tap on their address, their street address, that will show you the provider's address and where they're located in Google Maps. If you tap on the phone number, it will automatically put that phone number into your phone so that you can call the provider straight away. If you tap on the email, it will set it up so that your phone can let you send an email to the provider. And if you tap on the internet address, it will take you directly to the provider's website. As I mentioned in the Finding Service Providers video, the Provider Finder tool is really useful, particularly for people whose NDIS plan funding is set up in such a way that they need to use NDIS-registered providers to deliver their support services. So it pays in the long run, certainly. It pays to become used to using the provider finder tool, provide you with more choice, and may give you some options that you weren't aware of in terms of providers previously. Take care, and I'll see you again soon with our next Spark Disability video. Thanks.